Good morning and welcome to At the Sharp End, a business consulting Google Hangout that I run every week, usually covering topics that I've been asked about by our customers over the past few weeks. And this morning I'm going to deal with lean startups. And if you've not come across the lean startup movement, it's something that Eric Ries wrote about in his book, The Lean Startup. And that's an absolutely excellent book, by the way. And you can see it in the show notes below if you want to order a copy and read it. And I would recommend that if you're starting up a business. It could really help you out with how you approach your business and actually how you find success. So what is lean startup? What's it all about? Well, its origins are in lean manufacturing. So lean manufacturing is all about iterative development, optimization of process, doing things in a very measured and tested manner. And that's exactly what the lean startup philosophy is like as well. So when you start up, the idea is that you build a business hypothesis. Well, that's a big word, isn't it? But basically, for mere mortals like you and I, a business hypothesis is how your business works. If you've got something to sell, how are you going to sell it? Who are you going to sell it to? For what price? How do you make your money? If it's a web business, do you make advertising revenues, click-through rates? Do you do a freemium model where you might give away a basic service but actually charge a premium for a higher-end version, or something like that? And how do you know? At the start, when you're starting up, how do you know how best your business is going to work? And the answer is, unless you've done it before, and unless you've had a business in exactly the same sector before, which is probably unlikely for most people, the thing that you need to do is go and test the market, and that involves talking to people. So you build your business proposition, you build your idea, you get to a minimum viable product, which is another technique. Unlike previous ways of developing services or products where we would go for start to finish and then launch, and unfortunately launch might be a flop. What we do now is we go for a minimum viable product and then we iterate various versions until we get to the fully featured product or service that we thought we were going to launch in the first place. And why is that important? Well, it's important for a few reasons. If you've only moved this far, what happens? You spend less money getting there. You get an earlier decision point to choose whether your product's right or wrong. And you must have all seen the little diagram. There's a great little chart that says when you start a business, you start here and you end here. But actually, the little chart says, and this is the route that you took. And that's exactly what starting a small business is like, and that's why the lean startup is so important. If you can test early on, then you can figure out the trajectory that you're going on and get to that point without doing all these little iterations around and around and around and around. So that's it simply in a nutshell. You build a business proposition, you get the idea, you take it to market. So you build your minimum viable proposition. You will have done a lot of market testing, and this couples in really well with the business model canvas that we use. We're big advocates of it. We're big advocates of lean startup, and I've talked in other sessions about the business model canvas and what that is, and we'll be doing a short series on that shortly, on how to use it to its best effect and how we've used it with some of our clients. What's great there is all these principles can also be applied to an existing business. So an existing business that wants to improve, an existing business that wants to bring new things into the marketplace. So the whole process here appeals to us because of our technology background and because of the engineering side, because it builds very robust products. It means that your market success is much more likely because you've gone through this process. And principally, there is one key thing underlying it here. Because you've gone and talked to the market very early, there's a much higher chance that the market is going to like what you want, and in fact you start to then iterate to what the market wants rather than your grand vision, which with the best will in the world, will be somewhat flawed. And we've all seen that. We've all taken things to market, I'm sure, where you get there and the customer says, well, it's exactly what I want, except. And if you follow this iterative process, this iterative design, you spend a lot less money, you end up with a much more robust business, and hopefully the outcome that everybody wants, which is a lot more success in business. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Business hypothesis and driven experimentation is the grand title. What it actually means is build a model, test it out, get it to market in the minimum way. Okay. So if you want help to talk about your lean startup, or you want to contact Khemeia Consulting for any other services, please see our blog, please see our website. You can follow us on Twitter, Google Plus, and LinkedIn. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.